A new ultimate dungeon, the Abyss of the End, has been unleashed in the popular MMORPG Wasteland. The game is a global sensation, set in a post-apocalyptic world where mutated creatures roam free. Players join the New Human Revival Alliance, a faction of genetically engineered soldiers fighting to reclaim the surface. Their primary mission is to battle the terrifying army of mutants that now infest the planet. As players grew immensely powerful, they sought challenges far greater than their daily hunts. In response, the game introduced epic dungeons, with the Abyss of the End drawing in countless high-level players. This new zone is notoriously difficult, with powerful monsters capable of overwhelming even the strongest adventurers. Despite the danger, players enthusiastically charged into the dungeon, eager to test their skills in its first area, Silent City. They relentlessly battled the city's intelligent monsters, their combat power slowly rising with each grueling attempt. One player's eye narrows with intense focus, a bead of sweat marking the sheer pressure of the fight. The players are thrown into chaos, discovering the terrifying beast they're fighting is just a minion. With the tide of battle turning, the true masters of the dungeon finally make their grand entrance. The mutant commander, Zhongfangu, sizes up the new challengers with a look of pure contempt. He decides to personally handle the intruders, leaping into the air to unleash a devastating attack. In a flash of purple energy, the commander effortlessly tears through the entire raid party. He lands amidst the aftermath, energized by the thrill of a one-sided confrontation. Two powerful women, a synth and a semi-mechanical maiden, appear to question his hasty actions. The Zerg Queen larva defends the commander, finding the player's interruption rude. Her innocent face twists into a sinister grin, eager to see the intruders punished further. A super raider casually sitting atop the massive beast suggests a post-battle snack for the group. The mutant commander stands over the fallen, sensing the entire player faction is mobilizing against them. He points to the horizon, deciding to launch a preemptive strike against the top-ranked teams. Purple lightning crackles around him as he questions his own identity as a player-hunting monster. His memories drift back to a time before the apocalypse, when he was just an ordinary college student. In the past, a younger Zhongfangu is cornered by thugs trying to extort him over his family's debts. He meets their threats with a cold, silent stare, completely unnerving his aggressors. Enraged by the defiance, the lead bully clenches his fist, ready to make good on his violent promises. The tense standoff is broken by an unexpected voice, stopping the bully in his tracks. Two imposing female students, Zhang Yayu and Zhao Susu, arrive to defend their classmate from the harassment. The bully's confidence evaporates as his friends whisper warnings about the girl's formidable reputations and connections. The defeated bully retreats, vowing future revenge against Zhongfangu for the humiliation. Zhang Yayu questions his passivity, while Zhao Susu defends his choice to avoid a costly confrontation. Zhongfangu calmly reassures his friends of his control over the situation, before asking about their sudden appearance. A student named Ji Xue clarifies that she was alerted to his trouble by someone else entirely. The real informant, Lin Yuting, finally arrives, breathlessly checking if he's okay after her frantic call for help. He expresses his gratitude with a gentle pat on her head, appreciating her quick thinking. Lin Yuting is completely captivated by his kindness, her admiration for him growing even stronger. Her innocent demeanor shatters, revealing a chilling inner monologue filled with rage towards those who wronged him. Completely unaware of her dark thoughts, Zhongfangu cheerfully dismisses the incident, putting everyone at ease. Lin Yuting's expression turns serious as she reminds him of their shared goal, conquering the game to pay for his father's medical bills. Zhang Yayu offers to cover his father's medical bills, while Lin Yuting stresses his importance for their dungeon team. Zhongfangu cheerfully declines, preferring to earn the money himself through his part-time job. He confidently walks away, promising to return soon and telling his friends to keep leveling up without him. Zhao Susu playfully teases Zhang Yayu, questioning if her generous offer was actually a marriage proposal in disguise. A flustered Zhang Yayu insists her motives are strategic, praising his top-tier skills despite his low account level. Her gaze intensifies as she declares her unwavering faith in his ability to lead them to conquer the Abyss of the End. The discussion turns to the server's legendary #1 player, a powerful warrior known as Rebellion Kid. Zhang Yayu makes a bold comparison, claiming Zhongfangu's game sense is on par with the top-ranked player. Even when reminded of Rebellion Kid's solo feats, she firmly believes her gut feeling that Zhongfangu is secretly stronger. She changes the subject to dinner, energetically leading the group off to prepare for their next gaming session. That night, Zheng Fangu calls his mother, assuring her his part-time paycheck will soon cover half of his father's surgery. He calmly tells her to rest, insisting that his father's health is the only thing that matters right now. His mind flashes back to his father's accident, remembering how the paltry compensation barely made a dent in the medical bills. Lying on his bed, he reflects on the grueling months of balancing work and studies to gather the necessary funds. A sliver of hope appears as he anticipates the relief that paying his share will bring to his family. His eyes land on his VR headset, a pang of longing for the raid battles he sacrificed to save money. Deciding to play, he hesitates before the login screen for his low-level character, the one his friends know him by. He bypasses the familiar account, instead summoning the interface for his true hidden main character. The system confirms the stunning reveal as he logs in as the legendary level 99 player, Rebellion Kid. Within the game, the server's undisputed #1 player bursts into action, a blur of power in the digital world. He reflects on his long absence from the game, a wave of emotion hitting him as he returns to his true form. A character sheet reveals his staggering power, maxed-out stats that solidify his title as the server's undisputed #1. He recalls creating a low-level alt account to play with friends after his main character's solo feats caused too much of a stir. The player imagines the chaotic fury of his friends if they ever discovered his legendary secret identity. An unexpected message notification pops up, surprising him after being inactive for more than half a year. The game presents a special challenge for returning veterans, offering a massive cash reward for completion. He eyes the offer with suspicion, questioning if this unprecedented cash prize is some kind of elaborate scam. A vision of his father's condition flashes through his mind, realizing the reward could solve all his financial problems. His resolve hardens as he weighs the risk, deciding the potential to win big is worth the gamble. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, his armored finger decisively accepts the mysterious challenge. A surge of strange energy engulfs Rebellion Kid, distorting the very fabric of the game world around him. He feels a jolt of confusion as his digital avatar begins to glitch, questioning the sudden system malfunction. Back in reality, Zheng Fangu's body dissolves into a stream of data, pulled from his room and into the game itself. He materializes in a flash of light, landing in a desolate, overgrown ruin far from any known game area. His vision clears to a blood-red haze, revealing a nightmarish landscape that feels unnervingly real. He examines his hand, shocked to discover he can now physically feel his surroundings within the game. The player realizes his body has been transformed into that of a small, tattered child, questioning if he's truly trapped. A terrifying glint of purple in his eye signals a monstrous change has taken place within him. His reflection in a murky puddle confirms his worst fear, revealing he has become one of the game's zombies. A system notification pops up, cheerfully welcoming him to the ultimate hidden challenge he just accepted. A system message informs him he's been drafted into the villainous mutant faction as a lowly zombie larva. His new character sheet confirms his dire situation, level 1 zombie larva with pathetic stats. The game explains that the player faction, the New Human Revival Alliance, is systematically exterminating mutants across the world. He's tasked with unifying the remaining mutants to fight back and ensure their survival against the relentless players. Zheng Fangu questions this sudden plot twist, wondering if a game update completely flipped the script on who the good guys are. The reality of his situation sinks in as he imagines being obliterated by a player, making him instantly want to quit. But the system delivers a crushing blow. The logout button is disabled until he single-handedly saves the entire mutant faction. He erupts in frustration, realizing being trapped in the game means missing his father's crucial surgery deadline. The system offers a surprising solution. Time in the real world is frozen, and all his in-game gains will become real. His despair turns to calculation as he realizes this death trap is actually a golden opportunity for unlimited power leveling. A sudden realization dawns on him as he connects the dots of his bizarre new reality. The horrifying truth hits him. He's been transported not into a game, but a very real, very deadly wasteland. The system immediately issues his first mission, a task so ridiculous it leaves him figuratively spitting blood. His target is revealed, a monstrous level 32 giant reaver, an impossible foe for a level 1 larva. He erupts in fury, questioning the system's suicidal logic and the twisted command to hunt his own kind. The game clarifies a crucial rule. Mutants he defeats will respawn, but a player's attack means permanent death. He finds the twisted logic appealing. The more he dominates his fellow mutants, the more they will respect him. The system delivers a chilling ultimatum: accept the mission or face complete and utter deletion from existence. Thoughts of his father's life-saving surgery steel his resolve, turning this death trap into his only hope. Recalling his glory as the server's #1 player, he embraces the challenge, ready to conquer the world from the other side. With a defiant grin, the former #1 player accepts the impossible challenge. The system offers a sarcastic farewell, dubbing him the mighty Rotling of the wasteland. He immediately questions the mission's setup, deducing he's been dropped into an abandoned city. Analyzing the damp soil and lack of players, he narrows his location down to an undiscovered high-level zone. The sight of a familiar portal confirms his suspicion: he's trapped inside the abyss of the end. His eyes widen as he remembers that powerful reavers guard the entrance to this very dungeon. He recalls the dungeon's lore, known throughout the game as the ultimate and most difficult challenge. This place was once a network of advanced underground shelters, a last bastion for humanity. After a catastrophic war, the survivors fled, leaving the ruins to become a mutant stronghold. He realizes that in this brutal environment, only the most absurdly strong mutants could have survived. He knows these ruins are patrolled by high-level reavers, especially in the entrance zone known as Silent City. The mutants here are far stronger than anywhere else, making this dungeon a living hell for even the best players. He recalls that not even top-tier player squads could survive for long in this brutal, unforgiving wasteland. With a high density of elite monsters and hidden traps, he knows he must proceed with extreme caution. He remembers clearing this place with his best gear, a far cry from the fragile larva body he's in now. The grim reality of his situation hits him. One wrong move and his new life is over. His thoughts are cut short as a colossal shadow, with piercing red eyes, suddenly looms over him. A terrifying maw filled with razor-sharp teeth opens wide, ready to swallow him whole. Seeing no escape, he steels his resolve, deciding to face the monster with a defiant glare. Just as the beast lunges, a mysterious figure lands with enough force to shatter the ground around them. The mysterious savior is revealed to be a formidable female mutant with striking red hair. A system window identifies her as a level 55 female reaver with incredible strength. She ignores the larva, instead turning her fury on a different reptilian mutant on the ground. The reaver lets out a ferocious roar, lunging at her rival with blinding speed. Her opponent is identified as a level 49 female stalker, a creature known for its camouflage. Zheng Fangu realizes his quest target is the reaver, questioning why these new female variants are fighting over territory. He compares the in-game AI's simple patrol routes to this creature's active, intelligent hunting behavior. The horrifying truth dawns on him: this isn't a programmed AI, but a terrifyingly sentient being. He assesses that this reaver's combination of brains and brawn makes her far more dangerous than any monster he's ever faced. As the reaver finishes her opponent, he sees an opportunity, believing he can use her intelligence against her to win. The victorious reaver stands over her fallen rival, asserting her dominance in the ruined city. A system notification confirms the stalker's health has dropped to 0, ending the territorial dispute. Seizing the moment, Zheng Fangu summons a mini-bike and boldly challenges the powerful mutant. The reaver's face twists with fury, her glowing eyes locking onto the tiny, insolent larva. She gives chase with blinding speed, enraged by his taunt and determined to crush the nuisance. He realizes his bike's speed is barely enough to stay ahead, as her massive size lets her easily keep pace. Despite the danger, he keeps her close, knowing this is a crucial part of his calculated plan. Her foot smashes into the ground right where he planned, signaling the perfect moment to spring his trap. A hidden energy field erupts from the ground, confirming he successfully triggered a pre-existing dungeon trap. From a safe vantage point, he watches the ensnared reaver, confident his strategy will bring her down. He recalls falling for these same traps as a player, having memorized their locations the hard way. The trap is revealed to be Hive Valley, a nest of deadly paralysis wasps hidden just beneath the surface. These elite monsters compensate for their low health with overwhelming numbers and a speed-reducing venom. The trapped reaver finds herself surrounded by the furious swarm, with no immediate way out. A system window confirms their stats, highlighting their potent paralytic venom shock ability. He knows that without a powerful area of effect attack, their relentless assault will eventually overwhelm any foe. From his perch, he smugly reflects on how the reaver's own intelligence allowed him to lure her across the map. The reaver is overwhelmed by the wasps, their paralytic venom coursing through her body with each sting. He admits his escape was a close call, relying on his larva's base speed and a lucky find, a cyber mini-bike. But he knows reavers are incredibly tough, and watches as she begins to fight back, realizing the wasp swarm alone won't be enough. He calculates that by the time she escapes the swarm, her health will be cut in half. The enraged reaver claws her way out of the pit, refusing to be taken down by a simple trap. She finally breaks free, only to find herself weakened by a stack of debilitating venom debuffs. With his opponent vulnerable, he whistles to signal the next, more aggressive phase of his attack. A pack of vicious mutated hounds answers his call, stampeding through the ruins toward the fight. He leaps onto the back of the alpha hound, grabbing its scruff to steer it into battle. Now mounted on his ferocious steed, he charges forward, ready to deliver the finishing blow. They crash into the reaver with a devastating bash, inflicting a massive critical hit. The powerful strike leaves the once mighty reaver clinging to a single point of health. Perched atop his beast, Zhang Fangu looks down with cold satisfaction, preparing to end the battle. He soars through the air, ready to deliver the final decisive blow with a surprisingly mundane weapon. The makeshift weapon connects with brutal force, shattering the reaver's last bit of defiance. A system notification confirms his victory as the colossal mutant finally falls to the ground. He affectionately pats his new companion, a zombie Shiba Inu pup named Wangzai, sealing their partnership. He recalls the game's lore, where a natural bond exists between zombies and their loyal canine pets. A surge of gratitude washes over him, thankful to be allied with these powerful creatures. The tiny larva reaches out, forming a gentle connection with his massive undead steed. He acknowledges that without this powerful ally, defeating the reaver in his weak form would have been impossible. A brilliant flash of light signals his success, granting him the quest reward and a massive level up. The level up transforms him into a juvenile zombie, boosting his stats and unlocking a mysterious new skill. He examines his new power, questioning if this mysterious skill is a passive ability that triggers automatically. A quest reward screen reveals he's not only earned gold and a bizarre item, but also the defeated reaver's complete loyalty. He's baffled by the strange affection system, but quickly shifts his focus to the more practical reward: cold, hard cash. Realizing the gold can be converted to real money, he calculates a clear path to paying for his father's surgery, then questions the mention of base building. The system dramatically announces that base construction is the next hidden reward he's about to receive. For completing the mission perfectly, he unlocks a secret base called Hope Citadel and is immediately teleported away with his canine companion. Both he and Wangzai are dematerialized into a stream of data, whisked away to their new destination. He lands with a thud, completely disoriented by the abrupt and forceful teleportation. His confusion vanishes as a sudden, sharp realization dawns on him about where he is. He and his loyal pup gaze upon a massive, vine-choked ruin, recognizing it as the legendary Hope Citadel. He recalls the lore of Hope Citadel, a legendary base where humanity nearly developed a cure for the mutant virus. A catastrophic war, however, destroyed the cure and left the Citadel to become the monster-infested dungeon he now stands in. He remembers that humanity eventually rebuilt on the surface, establishing the main player hub known as New Eden. He's shocked to find this mythical place is real, now serving as his personal, protected base that will grow with his power. The system tasks him with transforming this ruin into the ultimate stronghold for all mutants under his command. Intrigued by the promise of a final, mysterious reward waiting inside, he prepares to enter the Citadel. He follows his canine companions inside, noting that Wangzai has already picked up an unusual scent. His confident demeanor shatters as he looks up, completely stunned by what he sees. Before him is a massive containment tank, where a mysterious woman floats suspended in a strange liquid. He realizes with disbelief that the system's ultimate reward is a beautiful, dormant woman, seemingly gifted to him. He stares in disbelief at his reward, questioning the system's utterly shameless logic. Meanwhile, back in the real world, a familiar figure is seen through the steamy glass of a shower. Sisue emerges, looking refreshed and ready for her next gaming session. She heads straight for her room, collapsing onto her bed after a long day. Surrounded by snacks and tech, she lies back, her mind clearly on the game and her friends. Her gaze falls upon a photo of her team, a fond memory of their adventures together with Zhang Fangu. With renewed determination, she grabs her VR headset, preparing to dive back into wasteland. Her in-game avatar, Little Yue, materializes, her stats confirming her role as a formidable player. She spawns into the vibrant, neon-lit streets of New Eden, the central hub for all players. Her character suddenly halts, her attention caught by something unexpected in the bustling city square. She stops before a familiar restaurant, the Wasteland Buff Buffet, a popular spot for players. A wave of nostalgia hits her as she recalls happier times, wishing Zheng Fangu was by her side. A memory flashes of her team celebrating, ready to take on a dungeon after a hearty meal. Her stomach rumbles as she fantasizes about the game's delicious virtual food and Zheng Fangu's knack for finding freebies. A mysterious pop-up suddenly appears, offering her a chance to be a gameplay tester for a new version. The invitation promises a real taste experience of the in-game food, piquing her curiosity. The scene cuts to a dark lab where Zheng Fangu reveals he's the one behind the mysterious offer. He thinks of his 4 female friends, singling out the ever-hungry Zisue as particularly naive. Leaning back, he confidently concludes that her love for food makes her the easiest target to lure. He then explains that his reasons for this deception began just 10 minutes earlier. 10 minutes earlier, he'd asked the system for an instruction manual on his strange new reward. The system reveals the female zombie is an empty vessel, requiring another player to take control. He's given a new mission: use a supercomputer to invite a player who will also be trapped until the mutants are saved. He rages at the system, refusing to condemn another person to the same fate he's trapped in. The system clarifies their real-world bodies will function normally, as only their consciousness is transferred into the game. Upon completion, they'll return to the exact moment they left, a surprisingly fair rule that earns his approval. The system dangles another, more suggestive reward, hinting at the potential for them to build a powerful army together. He comically breaks the fourth wall, demanding the system stop its commentary so the story can proceed. He strategizes on how to convince Zisue, realizing a simple offer of food won't be enough to lower her guard. To his utter shock, a notification confirms she accepted the invitation, proving his initial simple plan worked after all. Zisue's consciousness is pulled from the real world, linking directly into the game. The containment tank opens as her new physical form steps out, the transfer now complete. She marvels at the hyper-realistic sensations, believing she's just entered a new version of the game. Zheng Fangu greets her, but his welcome is cut short as she processes her new identity. The horrifying truth dawns on her as she realizes she's been transformed into a mutant zombie. Betrayed and enraged, she lunges at Zheng Fangu, unleashing her newfound power in a furious assault. He effortlessly sidesteps her powerful punch, anticipating her every move. Zheng Fangu counters with a swift kick, easily overpowering her initial attack. She lands gracefully after being thrown, demonstrating incredible agility in her new form. Her shock turns to disbelief as she realizes just how fast her supposedly low-level friend truly is. Unfazed by his words, she unleashes a furious kick, aiming to end the fight quickly. Zheng Fangu's expression turns serious as he prepares to reveal another one of his new abilities. His arm begins to twist and morph, transforming into something entirely inhuman. In an instant, he forms a massive, swirling shield just in time to block her attack. Her powerful strike is completely neutralized as it collides with his new organic defense. The sheer force of the block sends her reeling backward, thrown off balance by his unexpected power. A system window explains his newly unlocked skill, a will-based transformation that allows him to reshape his body. He contemplates the versatility of his new power, realizing he can create shields for defense or weapons for attack. His arm then shifts into a deadly blade as he closes the distance between them in a flash. Standing over his defeated friend, he calmly suggests she take a moment to understand her new reality. She stumbles backward, completely outmatched by his sudden and overwhelming display of power. Her reflection confirms the horrifying truth, showing her new, monstrous form staring back at her. He cheekily welcomes his dazed friend to the mutant faction, his first recruitment mission a success. A spark of defiance flashes in her eyes as she glares back, still processing the depth of his betrayal. He formally invites her to join his cause, declaring the legendary Hope Citadel as their new base of operations. He explains how he spun a tragic tale of mutant suffering, fully immersing her in the game's new narrative. But the real key to her recruitment was a simple promise of free meals, a weakness he knew she couldn't resist. The system rewards his successful deception with a pile of gold and a selection of unconventional outfits. A new quest immediately appears, tasking him with convincing his new ally to wear one of the revealing costumes. Despite his annoyance at the system's absurdity, he considers the offer, knowing the stat boosts could be crucial for their survival. He presents her with a special beginner's outfit, claiming it's essential for their fight against humanity. To his surprise, she eagerly accepts the new gear, excited by the prospect of a hyper-realistic costume. As she equips the uniform, she's amazed by the tangible power boost it provides. Her new character sheet confirms the stat increase, officially marking her as a level 10 female zombie. Zheng Fangu gives her an encouraging thumbs up, playfully placing the fate of all mutants on her shoulders. The system rewards him with a pittance of gold, causing him to fume over the insultingly small prize. Meanwhile, Zixue grows suspicious, finding his behavior far too lifelike for a simple NPC. Her sharp observation sends him into a silent panic, realizing his cover is already at risk. The tense moment is broken by an unexpected sound as her stomach begins to rumble loudly. She questions the unnervingly real sensation of hunger, giving Zheng Fangu a sudden brilliant idea. He seizes the opportunity, presenting her with a plate of freshly cooked raider tentacle skewers. The incredible aroma instantly captivates her, as he offers the meal as a welcome gift to the mutant clan. All her suspicions melt away as she eagerly reaches for the delicious-looking food. She devours the skewers with incredible speed, her hunger completely taking over. Zheng Fangu watches with amusement as her zombie instincts kick in, making her fiercely protective of her meal. A sudden surge of energy courses through her body, her eyes glowing with newfound power. To her shock, strange red appendages erupt from her back as she questions the sudden change. A system window reveals the skewers triggered an evolution, transforming her into a teen zombie with a new ability. Her character sheet confirms the upgrade, showing a massive boost in her level and stats. Surrounded by her new, powerful tentacles, she stares in confusion at her evolved form. He ponders if this food-based evolution is a universal rule for all zombies. The system clarifies Zixue's rapid evolution is a special case, while he comically regrets not taking a bite of the power-up food himself. His assistance earns him a mystery reward and a new quest to conquer a zombie nest with his powerful new ally. He observes that the promise of more food and cash has made Zixue even more enthusiastic about the mission than he is. One day later, they arrive at a vast, overgrown forest separating the Abyss of the End from Silent City, a brutal and unforgiving territory. They approach the zombie nest, a dangerous border zone at the edge of Silent City teeming with mutated animal zombies. He notes this area is a prime scavenging spot, as the territorial animal zombies leave behind plenty of leftovers for others. The pair successfully infiltrates the local zombie clan, quickly discovering these creatures are far more organized than typical game monsters. He's stunned to see the zombies lining up for food, displaying a level of discipline and intelligence completely unheard of for their kind. This clan operates with surprising sophistication, with organized hunts and even designated cooks preparing rations for the group. He's shocked to find the zombies are using a captured human woman as a bizarre source of nourishment for their young. He learns she was a cruel researcher who experimented on their kind, making this a twisted form of revenge. As his companion finishes their ration, he realizes with a jolt that he's next in line. He reluctantly takes his turn, a blush spreading across his face from the strange experience. A system notification confirms he's gained intelligence, finally explaining the clan's unusual level of organization. Just as he processes this, a hand violently yanks him backward by his collar. A formidable female zombie glares down at him, causing him to panic that his cover has been blown. She angrily informs him that as a teenage zombie, he's standing in the wrong line, much to his relief. He quickly deduces that mature females hold high status here, focused on rebuilding their numbers after player attacks. The clan's activity is suddenly interrupted by a grand announcement declaring the return of their lord. A massive gate creaks open as chained zombies bow in reverence to a shadowy figure's arrival. A system window identifies the imposing newcomer as the legendary zombie lord S01. The zombie lord makes her grand entrance, casually riding a colossal undead beast. Zheng Fangu is baffled, unable to scan the lord or her formidable muscular bodyguard T-09. He realizes her entire entourage consists of unique, high-ranking female zombies, each with a distinct and powerful design. The system clarifies these aren't game monsters but native beings, unique individuals whose stats are hidden from him. This revelation fuels his ambition, realizing these evolved zombies give him a real chance to unite the mutants and dominate the world. He studies the Lord's followers, noting their strange numbered markings and realizing they'll be a challenge to win over. The system reveals their origins, tracing the markings back to the genetic experiments conducted in the old city-state of Hope. A flashback shows scientists in a high-tech lab conducting research on a mysterious otherworldly organism. The system explains the lab's noble goal was to cure mutations and protect humanity. A scientist carefully injects a mysterious biological sample, hoping to find a cure. But the serum had the opposite effect, causing the test subjects to become even more monstrous. A failed experiment breaks free, unleashing chaos as guards desperately try to contain the new threat. Researchers then shifted their focus to female zombies, subjecting them to a new, numbered series of brutal tests. One such subject, marked A03, is shown restrained and experimented on, a victim of their desperate science. The system reveals the horrifying extent of their methods, which included invasive procedures on living subjects. The female zombie is held down, enduring unimaginable procedures at the hands of the researchers. They even conducted grotesque fusion experiments, creating monstrous hybrids in their search for a breakthrough. Despite the failures, this dark research accidentally produced a powerful super serum, creating a new kind of subject. This new serum created humans who were not only immune, but also possessed superhuman strength and speed. With the power to dominate, humanity abandoned any thought of saving mutants and instead prepared for war. They created an elite fighting force known as the New Humans, the very faction players belonged to. The New Humans began a ruthless campaign, hunting down mutants to harvest them for more serum. Armed with advanced technology, they easily subdued their monstrous foes on the battlefield. The Hope Federation's mission was now absolute: annihilate all mutants and forge a new world for themselves. But they made a fatal miscalculation, underestimating the first female zombie injected with the serum, subject S00. She was the first to evolve true intelligence, her mind filled with crystal-clear memories of her tormentors. The sheer terror and rage from her past trauma triggered a powerful genetic awakening inside her. In a burst of agony and power, she underwent a horrifying transformation, becoming a new kind of monster. In her berserk state, S00 led a mass breakout, inspiring the other test subjects to evolve alongside her. The lab's staff could only watch in terror as their creations revealed a horrifying new level of intelligence. Responding to the emergency, the elite New Human forces arrived to quell the rebellion. A chaotic battle ensued, pitting the super soldiers against the unpredictable and newly empowered zombies. The New Humans easily dispatched the common evolved zombies, but S00 was on an entirely different level. A soldier's desperate attack is met by S00's monstrous bladed limb. Her advanced weapon proves useless, shattering against the raw power of the first evolved zombie. The soldier is swiftly defeated, proving the New Humans were no match for this new apex predator. Zero stands triumphant over the chaos, ensuring no human escapes her wrath as the lab is thrown into a full retreat. She then led her awakened army to conquer the entire city-state of Hope, forcing the retreating humans to enact a scorched earth protocol. The humans abandoned their city, leaving it to burn as they fled the zombie uprising. Suero vanished after her victory, leaving behind a legacy of powerful evolved mutants in the abyss. Zheng Feng processes this hidden history, realizing the official story was a lie and humans are the true monsters. He grins, seeing an opportunity in this new reality where zombies can evolve, unlike their game counterparts. His ambitious thoughts are cut short as a powerful presence notices the unfamiliar little zombie. The imposing zombie lord SO1 towers over him, questioning the strange smile on the face of this newcomer. Her bladed limbs close in as she grabs him, suspecting he's a human spy and threatening a painful interrogation. Her sharp appendage poises to strike, ready to carry out the brutal punishment. But before she can act, her head whips around, sensing another presence interrupting the interrogation. Jisue appears in a flash, blocking the attack and leaving the zombie lord momentarily stunned by her familiar appearance. The zombie lord praises Yesiue's loyalty, impressed that a low-level zombie has evolved such a powerful skill. She then turns to her subordinate, Li Ying, commending her for a job well done. Li Ying proudly explains their special diet for the young has successfully boosted their intelligence and abilities. Satisfied with the results, the lord orders her subordinate to prepare the next round of survival training. Zheng Fanggu internally reflects on his plan, acknowledging his friend's impulsive but undeniably loyal nature. He realizes Jisue's bold intervention earned her respect in this female-dominated clan, but now he's curious about this so-called training. He learns the brutal truth. The training is a month-long trial in a deadly forest, a harsh method to weed out the weak. Recalling his game knowledge, he knows the Forest of Thorns is a hellish place, and this real version will be far deadlier. Her subordinate expresses concern, reminding the Lord that the previous training had a devastatingly low survival rate. The Lord silences her with a menacing glare, making it clear that her authority is not to be questioned. The zombie Lord justifies her brutal training, believing it's necessary to prepare for the inevitable return of the New Humans. She recalls the grim fate of those captured by humans, a chilling reminder of what's at stake. Elsewhere, a new human soldier rages as his psychic link to a captured researcher is severed. The Ghost Eye sniper fumes over his failed intelligence gathering, deeming his captured asset completely useless. A powerful female lord from another faction suggests it's time for her players to investigate the zombies' rapid evolution. The Ghost Eye sniper takes her comment as a challenge, deploying a weapon and confronting her directly. Unfazed, the bloodthirsty electric blade taunts him, her hand crackling with power over her massive sword. She eagerly accepts the challenge, excited for a real battle between evolved new humans. Their standoff is abruptly ended as a massive armored fist smashes the ground between them. A third Lord, Iron Man EX, intervenes, reminding them that infighting is a luxury they can't afford when death is now permanent. The final Lord, a level 99 Hunter Commander, agrees that Iron Man EX is correct. He declares their shared ambition is to fully conquer this fascinating new world. Lounging on his throne, he reveals this conquest is the true reason they were all brought here. Meanwhile, Zheng Fangu and Xie Shui observe the captured human researcher with intense curiosity. The blindfolded captive grits her teeth, clearly enduring a stressful and frightening ordeal. He deduces she's a player being used for intel, but the zombies cleverly blocked her vision. The zombies have subjected her to a bizarre and unsettling process, leaving her chained and vulnerable. He questions how this is possible, wondering why a trapped player wouldn't just log out of the game. A cunning smile spreads across his face as he realizes this captive player could be a valuable asset. With the Lord gone, the young zombies are herded away, their days of easy nourishment officially over. The zombie Lord's subordinate addresses the young zombies, laying down the grim rules for their upcoming survival training. She explains the month-long trial will take place in the deadly forest of thorns, where hiding is prioritized over fighting. The commander advises them to hunt in small teams and avoid the deeper parts of the forest where stronger monsters lurk. With a menacing glare, she gives one final, chilling warning: never venture into the heart of the forest. Hiding nearby, Zisue complains that they've been given rules but no actual training, essentially being sent to their doom. A new zombie appears, confirming her fears by revealing the previous training had a near-zero survival rate. The stranger approaches them, but Zheng Fangu eyes him with suspicion, clearly not interested in making new friends. The boy introduces himself as Li Baba, boasting about his past as a martial artist before his transformation. He proposes an alliance, but Zheng Fangu immediately shuts him down, bluntly stating they prefer to work alone. Zheng Fangu internally dismisses the idea, calculating that a new teammate would only be a liability and a drain on their resources. The boy leans in, claiming to understand Zheng Fangu's hesitation. He then reveals his own awakened ability, a petrification skill, to prove his worth. Zheng Fangu considers the offer, realizing the boy's skills would create a more balanced team composition. He agrees to the alliance, shaking on the deal while firmly establishing himself as the leader. The new recruit immediately proves to be a chatterbox, annoying Zheng Fangu with his endless questions. A comical thought bubble suggests the boy's true motive was simply to find someone to talk to. The system unexpectedly rewards him for making a friend, prompting him to just go with the flow. Elsewhere in the forest, another group of zombies confidently patrols the outer edge of the woods. Their leader's bravado is cut short as a strange appendage suddenly ensnares one of his companions. A monstrous toad-like creature ambushes the entire party, its long tongue snatching them from the ground. Zheng Fangu draws on his past game knowledge, realizing the outer forest is actually a deadly hunting ground. He knows that inexperienced zombies who think the outer edges are safe are quickly proven fatally wrong. They inevitably become an easy meal for the mutated predators that lurk just out of sight. He visualizes the forest's layout, identifying Area 1 as a notorious feeding ground filled with ambushes. Deeper inside, Area 2 is a nesting zone where territorial beasts hunt any and all intruders without mercy. He imagines the chaos of his team trying to steal a valuable egg from a powerful mutated electric viper. This leads him to conclude that Area 3 is their safest bet, a neutral zone between apex predators. The true rulers of the forest are the king-level beasts, led by the legendary King of Thorns himself. He admits that even on his legendary main account, he never dared to challenge such a mythical monster. For now, they rest safely in Area 3, a temporary haven where only smaller creatures dare to hide. Li Baba puts his petrification skills to the test, taking down a mutated rat to warm up. Xie follows suit, elegantly dispatching a mutated piranha with her powerful appendages. Zheng Fangu finishes their practice round, effortlessly slicing through a mutated porcupine with his morphed blade. The system rewards their efforts with gold, bizarre new recipes, and a spiky upgrade for Zhongfangu's morphing skill. With their warm-up complete, the newly formed team sets their sights on a much larger target, a monstrous bear ape. They unleash a perfectly coordinated assault, striking the beast from all sides with overwhelming force. Their flawless teamwork pays off as the colossal monster crashes to the ground, defeated. Another system notification pops up, granting them more gold, a hearty stew, and the power of gigantification for Zhongfangu's morphing ability. As night falls, they decide to call it a day, realizing the forest is too dangerous for hunting in the dark. Gathered around a campfire, the new recruit marvels at Zhongfangu's surprising culinary skills as they enjoy their hard-earned feast. Zhongfangu lets his new ally believe his cooking skills are stolen tech, finding the boy's assumptions conveniently cover his tracks. The nutrient-rich food triggers another evolution in Xisiyue, her tentacles becoming even more formidable. Li Baba also undergoes a transformation, his petrification ability surging with a new golden energy. He tests his enhanced strength by shattering the earth, his destructive power now on a whole new level. As his companions rest, Zhongfangu reflects on his own growth, feeling a distinct increase in his personal power. His status screen updates with new skill attributes, but he's confused by the sudden disappearance of his level and stats. The system clarifies that game mechanics like levels are fading away as he fully integrates into this new reality. This confirms his suspicion that he's no longer bound by game rules, making skill mastery the true path to power. He immediately puts this theory to the test, morphing his arm into a spiky mace to obliterate a stone creature. Holding a remnant from his foe, he calmly contemplates the deadly potential of his newly tested spike ability. He questions the bizarre new abilities he's absorbed from the strange humanoid monsters he defeats. With his arms morphed into deadly tendrils, he decisively ends the battle against the insectoid creature. The system immediately issues a new solo mission: hunt down a mutated flame tiger before sunrise. He deduces the insect evolved its humanoid form as a lure, making a strange connection to his new elasticity skill. Annoyed by the timing, he accepts the nighttime hunt as a perfect opportunity to test his growing arsenal. He expertly navigates the treacherous night forest, relying on the terrain he memorized during the day. With incredible agility, he leaps through the darkness, moving with silent, predatory grace. He lands silently on the forest floor, his senses on high alert for his dangerous new target. Arriving at a fiery cave, he remembers the flame tiger's notorious temper from his old gaming days. A colossal fireball suddenly materializes before him, its sheer size far exceeding anything he ever faced in the game. He stares in disbelief as the flame tiger towers over him, now twice the size he ever remembered. Realizing the beast has evolved, he leaps into the fray, swinging his morphed blade with deadly intent. The monster's incredible speed and power force him to reconsider his strategy for this difficult fight. A furious swipe from the beast is met with a desperate block, creating a massive clash of raw power. His blades prove useless against the tiger's impenetrable hide, failing to even leave a scratch. Frustrated by its defense, he decides to unleash a new ability, morphing his arms into colossal pincers. He soars through the air, preparing to bring his new gigantified weapon down with devastating force. The two combatants lock eyes, their roars of defiance echoing as they prepare for the inevitable impact. Their attacks collide in a blinding flash of energy, a brutal test of strength against durability. Landing gracefully, he glances back, assessing the damage from his powerful new move. To his surprise, the gigantified pincer successfully crushes the tiger's arm, drawing a roar of agony. His new weapon digs deep, the immense pressure cracking the monster's seemingly unbreakable hide. But the enraged beast unleashes its full power, its body erupting in flames as the wound instantly begins to heal. Blown away by the fiery blast, he realizes the tiger's regeneration is too strong, and he might not survive this fight. The flame tiger glares down, its power now fully awakened and ready to incinerate him. Just as a flaming claw descends, he remembers a forgotten ability that could turn the tide of the battle. With a confident grin, he prepares to unleash his final move, channeling a new kind of energy into his arm. He activates his elasticity skill, compressing his morphed limb into a dense, spinning projectile. The coiled weapon launches with blinding speed, hurtling directly toward the unsuspecting monster's core. The projectile strikes true, ricocheting inside the beast's body and unleashing a devastating internal assault. A system notification confirms his victory, rewarding him with gold, blind boxes, and the game-changing ability to speak with beasts. His status screen updates, showcasing his new flame attribute and the powerful beast tongue skill. He breathes a sigh of relief, exhausted but satisfied after finally taking down the formidable monster. But his moment of peace is shattered as the entire cave begins to collapse around him. A colossal clawed foot smashes into the ground, heralding the arrival of an even greater threat. He realizes with horror that he didn't just kill a monster, he killed the cub of a very angry, very powerful family. Two of the evolved tigers roar with vengeful fury, their bodies crackling with destructive energy. The colossal patriarch of the clan glares down, promising to make him pay for harming its kin. It demonstrates its overwhelming power, smashing the ground and unleashing a torrent of flames. The entire family lets out a unified roar, their combined wrath focused on the lone zombie who just made a fatal mistake. Just as all hope seems lost, an unexpected wolf-like ally roars its intent to save him. The colossal flame tiger is caught completely off guard, its rage turning to utter confusion. A chaotic brawl erupts as more wolf-like creatures join the fray, fearlessly clashing with the tiger family. The flame tigers find themselves outnumbered as a whole pack of these strange new mutants swarms the battlefield. From the sidelines, Zheng Fangu reveals his hand, unleashing a torrent of flame while calculating the potential loot. He watches with satisfaction as his summoned beasts, crackling with lightning and ice, overwhelm the fiery tigers. Seizing the opportunity, he leaps into the fray, his morphed blade ready to reshape the battlefield. He slams his weapon into the earth, summoning massive tendrils to ensnare his powerful foes. The two alpha beasts of his summoned pack engage in a fierce dominance battle, ice clashing against lightning. The lightning-infused wolf shatters its icy rival's form, asserting its ultimate power in a flash of purple energy. The lightning wolf shatters its icy counterpart, its raw power exploding across the battlefield in a flash of purple energy. The two newly formed beastkin stare at each other in bewilderment, completely baffled by their sudden transformation. From above, Zheng Fangu smirks, seeing the chaos as the perfect ingredients for his master plan. A system notification confirms his victory, rewarding him with gold, a mysterious crown, and 3 new elemental attributes. His status screen updates, showcasing a formidable arsenal of 7 different attributes for his morphing skill. The scene fades to black as a full month passes, leaving the fate of the young zombies unknown. High in the branches of a colossal tree, a group of powerful female mutants relaxes, having survived the brutal forest. The zombie commander looks out with concern, fearing that none of the trainees managed to survive the month-long ordeal. The zombie lord expresses her disappointment, believing the 2 promising brats she had her eye on have perished. For a fleeting moment, she sees a strange vision of another zombie, but quickly dismisses it as a trick of the mind. One of the lord's followers, a bat-like mutant, hangs upside down, sleeping peacefully in the branches. She suddenly snaps awake with a blush, sensing a powerful presence emerging from the forest's depths. The zombie lord and her commander are on high alert, wondering what kind of creature could be causing such a stir. The bat-like mutant, TO2, is visibly shaken, claiming the aura is too immense to belong to any ordinary zombie. She describes the presence as a terrifying stampede of beasts, an aura so potent it could freeze anyone with fear. Focusing her senses, the mutant known as Xiao Yu taps into her psychic abilities to pinpoint the source of the disturbance. The zombie lord notes that Xiao Yu's senses are exceptionally sharp, making her reaction all the more concerning. She ponders what kind of threat could possibly rattle her usually unflappable subordinate. Another of their group, a brawny mutant with stone-like skin, spots movement and points toward the commotion. A colossal beam of energy suddenly erupts from the forest, confirming that something immense is heading their way. A colossal armored foot crashes down, shaking the very earth beneath it. An entire horde of mutated thorn dragon beasts thunders out from the tree line, a terrifying stampede of power. The Lord's bodyguard questions if it's a rampage, but then realizes the beasts are moving with disciplined military precision. A glint of amusement appears in the zombie Lord's eye as she pieces together the incredible truth. She smirks, revealing this isn't an attack but a royal procession escorting their new king. The camera pans down to reveal Zheng Fangu and his team riding the Alpha Beast, leading their newly conquered army. Zheng Fangu smirks from his throne, leaving the onlookers completely stunned by his impossible feat. The zombie lord admits she completely underestimated the rookie, who just made the most powerful entrance imaginable. Her eyes gleam with excitement, her interest now fully captured by the promising young zombie leading the charge. She leaps into the air, amazed he tamed the legendary thorn dragon in a single month and is now ready to meet him face to face. The zombie lord decides to test the newcomer's strength, unleashing a massive energy blast from above. Li Baba questions the sudden aggression, completely baffled by the Lord's hostile welcome. Confident in his new power, Li Baba prepares to meet her attack head-on, activating his petrification skill. The Lord's devastating punch shatters his stone defense, testing the limits of his newfound ability. Impressed by his resilience, she unleashes a fiery assault, acknowledging his rapid growth in power. Despite his efforts, the Lord effortlessly dodges and counters, her superior speed leaving him completely outmatched. A colossal beam of energy slams into the ground, sending Li Baba flying from the sheer force of the blast. He's left defeated in a crater, a clear message that the Lord's power is on an entirely different level. Enraged by her friend's defeat, Zisue leaps into the fray, her powerful tentacles lashing out at the Lord. The Lord easily parries the attack, noting Zisue's superior speed and strength, but hinting it's still not enough. Her face twists in fury, enraged that the Lord dared to harm her friends. She unleashes a relentless barrage of tentacles, determined to make the Lord pay for her aggression. The zombie Lord calmly forms a dense bud-like shield, completely nullifying the assault. When the smoke clears, the Lord stands completely unscathed, leaving Zisue baffled by her impenetrable defense. A comical cutaway illustrates the futility of her efforts, as the Lord remains utterly untouchable. The Lord's imposing figure looms over her, radiating an aura of absolute dominance. With a condescending smirk, the Lord expresses her disappointment in the predictable brute force attack. She counters with a hypnotic sound wave, criticizing her opponent's complete lack of strategy. The Lord gently cradles her dazed opponent, acknowledging her potential but declaring the fight is over. A single, precise strike to the neck instantly renders Zisue unconscious. The zombie Lord holds the unconscious Zisue, finally turning her full attention to Zheng Fangu. She casually explains she only subdued his friends, showing her complete confidence in her power. With a wicked grin, she challenges him to a real fight now that the distractions are gone. Zheng Fangu accepts, unleashing his own terrifying aura as purple energy erupts from his body. They both launch into the sky, agreeing to take their high-stakes sparring session elsewhere. On the ground, her followers can only watch in awe as streaks of light, barely visible, clash above them. Their battle becomes a chaotic dance in the air, a flurry of high-speed attacks and dodges. He meets her bladed arm with his own, their weapons clashing with enough force to create a shockwave. The fight moves to solid ground as he narrowly evades her glowing energy slash. With a look of sheer dominance, the zombie lord declares their warm-up is officially over. The zombie lord's grin widens as she decides to stop holding back, unleashing a sinister red aura. Her entire body erupts with crimson energy, transforming her into a more monstrous and intimidating form. She invokes a powerful ability, her colossal figure dwarfing Zheng Fangu as she prepares a devastating attack. A swarm of dark, energy-based creatures smashes into him, creating a massive explosion on impact. She smirks, believing this overwhelming display of force is the only way to earn his respect. But her confidence shatters as she stares in disbelief at the outcome of her attack. Zheng Fangu effortlessly stops her colossal fist with a single finger, revealing he's been hiding his true power. He unleashes a powerful beam of purple energy, blasting her backward and rejecting her attempt to dominate him. The once mighty lord lies defeated on the cracked ground, looking up at the one who just completely overpowered her. With his eyes glowing intensely, he prepares to lay down his own terms, establishing a new hierarchy. He floats in the air, radiating a terrifying aura of pure, untamed energy. He clarifies his position, declaring he's here to lead, not to serve under anyone. With a surge of power, he unveils his ultimate transformation, the Thorn Dragon King armor. He channels the full results of his month-long training into a single, overwhelming attack. He unleashes a devastating blast of draconic energy, a technique he calls the Dragon's Roar. The zombie lord recognizes the legendary power with utter shock, questioning how it's possible. Her own form begins to crack and shatter under the immense pressure of his assault. She kneels in the dirt, completely defeated and unable to process her sudden loss. He calmly stands over her, acknowledging her future potential, but confirming his current superiority. With absolute authority, he informs the once mighty lord that she will now serve as one of his commanders. The defeated lord roars in defiance, refusing to accept her loss was due to anything but a momentary lapse. He coolly reveals he was barely trying, pointing out that her impressive form is already failing. Her shock is palpable as his words hit her with the force of another devastating blow. Her intimidating form comically deflates, revealing a tiny, childlike creature who wonders how he saw through her bluff. A system window details his incredible new powers, from summoning beasts to wielding the thorn dragon's might. He playfully holds the miniature lord, who now speculates he might be an entirely different kind of undead creature. A flashback reveals a memory of a powerful figure entrusting the young lord with the survival of their entire clan. The memory continues with the young lord's desperate plea, feeling overwhelmed by the immense responsibility. The mysterious figure departs, leaving the young lord with a final, empowering message to believe in her own strength. This memory fueled her resolve, driving her to lead her people and survive against human attacks for years. She realizes his immense strength gives her people a real chance to finally fight back. With newfound hope, she formally asks her new lord to lead them to a better future. A system notification confirms his victory, granting him a massive gold reward and total control of the zombie horde. He reassures his new subordinate, patting her head and promising to ensure their survival. The tiny lord then questions how he managed to defeat the legendary thorn dragon beast in the first place. He grits his teeth, explaining that the entire ordeal was another one of the system's ridiculous setups. The flashback begins, showing how his victory over the Flame Tiger family earned him a huge power-up and several blind boxes. His status screen reveals a staggering array of new elemental attributes for his morphing skill. But the system immediately threw him a new, impossible quest: defeat the Thorn Dragon in just one day. His only hope lay in the blind boxes, which thankfully provided him with an army of powerful clone cards. He explains that to beat the monster, he gambled on 6 blind boxes and miraculously pulled an army of clones. He admits his old self would have been no match for the Thorn Dragon, but now he commands an army of 7. His duplicates stand ready for battle, each one a perfect copy of his own formidable power. The 7 Zungfangus launch a flawless, synchronized assault, overwhelming the colossal beast. His other allies provide elemental support, trying to overwhelm the dragon before it can retaliate. But just as victory is within reach, his clones begin to fade away as their time limit expires. In a desperate move, Li Baba leaps into the fray, offering himself as a living weapon. He transforms into a massive stone hammer just in time for Zhang Fangu to catch him with his powerful tendrils. Zhang Fangu channels all his elemental energy into his ally, preparing to deliver the final decisive blow. With one mighty swing, he brings the living hammer down, knocking the legendary dragon out cold. He finishes his story, explaining how their combined strength finally subdued the legendary beast. The system rewards his victory with a massive pile of gold and the power to command the forest's creatures. Instead of finishing it off, he approaches the awakened beast to forge an unexpected alliance. He strikes a deal, promising the dragon its throne in exchange for its help against the new humans. Back in the present, he gives the tiny lord a simplified version of the story, hiding his true nature as a system player. Elsewhere, a seemingly gentle mutant shares a quiet moment with a small bird, a rare scene of peace. But their tranquility is shattered as a squad of elite new human soldiers ambushes them from above. The lead soldier ruthlessly dispatches the large mutant as his terrified companion flees for its life. A brutal battle erupts as the technologically advanced soldiers clash with the desperate mutants. Standing over the fallen, the soldiers discuss their true mission: to eliminate the infected and locate an undercover agent. A powerful mutant with colossal stone fists prepares to defend her territory against a mysterious female intruder. Elsewhere, a colossal zombie complains of hunger while holding a much smaller, terrified mutant in its grasp. The intruder is stunned by the giant's appearance, as a small bird-like creature orders the behemoth to avenge a fallen ally. The giant zombie finishes its grim meal, its hunger still not satisfied. With its appetite unsated, the colossal creature turns its attention to the red-haired woman, seeing her as its next target. The woman retaliates with incredible speed, delivering a powerful energy-infused kick to the monster's leg. She lands with confidence, realizing that conventional weapons are useless against this evolved threat. Deciding to get serious, she awakens her latent new human abilities, her body glowing with a vibrant aura. She moves with blinding speed, creating multiple afterimages to confuse and overwhelm her massive opponent. Unleashing her ultimate technique, she creates a vortex of energy, trapping the giant in a whirlwind of attacks. The colossal zombie falls, defeated by the woman's overwhelming power. Elsewhere, the captured researcher hangs in chains, sensing an approaching presence. Her rescuer is revealed to be her ally, Windshadow, bringing a wave of relief. But relief turns to horror as Windshadow coldly reveals she's here to execute her on Ghost Eye's orders. Without hesitation, Windshadow raises her weapon and fires at point-blank range. The The blast brutally severs the captive's hand from her arm in a shocking act of betrayal. The researcher recoils in agony, the pain of the wound and the betrayal hitting her at once. Just then, Zhang Fanggu arrives on his thorn dragon, seeing the new humans as a perfect warm-up. He leaps into action, his arm morphed into a colossal blade as he swings down on Windshadow. She effortlessly dodges his attack, impressed by his speed and eager to see what else he can do. She dismisses his intelligence, confident her new human skills will crush this evolved zombie. A powerful strike sends the injured researcher flying, her body slamming hard against a nearby surface. He lands a decisive blow, reminding her that while he can miss, she can't afford a single mistake. The thorn dragon lunges forward, its powerful jaws closing the distance and ending the fight decisively. A subordinate offers the captive researcher to the thorn dragon, suggesting she be a reward for their victory. Zhang Fanggu calmly intervenes, taking command and delegating tasks to his new followers. Seizing the moment, the captive researcher shatters her chains with surprising strength. Now free, she faces her new captor, her defiance clear despite her grave injuries. Her defiance crumbles into despair as she begs her rescuer to end her life. He leans in with a sinister smile, revealing he knows her secret. As a player, death is just a temporary inconvenience. The captive researcher is stunned, demanding to know how a mutant is aware of players. He coolly points out her ignorance of the new game world, piquing her desperate curiosity. Resigned to her fate, she reveals the grim reality. Players are trapped, and death is permanent. He realizes he's the only player to become a zombie, then shifts his attention to her strange stomach wound. Her grief surfaces as she tearfully blames a former ally for her suffering. A flashback reveals her past life as a brilliant but struggling bioengineering PhD student. She was once a dedicated scientist, deeply engrossed in her complex research. With her academic career on hold, she turned to the online game Wasteland to pass the time. In the game, she partnered with another player, and their virtual adventures eventually led to a romance. He sent her a special invitation for a real game experience, a choice that marked the beginning of her nightmare. She recalls how their in-game romance blossomed into a real-world relationship. He convinced her to use her scientific expertise to develop bioevolution potions for the new humans. The game world's advanced technology allowed her research to flourish, creating powerful new abilities. Her world shattered when she discovered he was cheating on her, all while she was carrying his child. Seeing her as a liability, he callously led her into a mutant ambush to dispose of her. His betrayal deepened as he ordered his own soldiers to eliminate her and cover up his crimes. Broken by the betrayals, she now believes that death is her only escape from the pain. But Zhang Fanggu offers her a different path, presenting a choice between a final end and sweet revenge. The very idea of vengeance ignites a spark in her, a concept she hadn't dared to consider. The scene shifts to the bustling zombie lair, a fortress where evolved power, not technology, reigns supreme. He leads his new army to a portal, declaring their intent to conquer Hope City and build a fortress. His followers erupt in cheers, fully embracing his leadership and his promise to crush the new humans. He immediately puts his new commander to work, tasking her with establishing their new base of operations. Meanwhile, Zisue is taken by surprise as a massive mutated canine approaches her. But the creature's intentions are purely playful, as it tackles her with an overwhelmingly affectionate greeting. He greets the giant beast by name, inquiring about a special task he assigned it before his departure. The creature responds with a proud and toothy grin, clearly eager to show off its accomplishments. In response, a signal erupts over the city, revealing the successful completion of its mission. He praises the beast for successfully recruiting a massive pack of zombie dogs to serve as the city's new patrol. With the city's security established, he collapses at a desk, finally allowing himself a moment of rest after a grueling month. The system issues a new quest, tasking him with activating dormant cyborgs to power their new city. He fumes at the relentless missions, confused by the sudden appearance of cyborgs not present in the original game. The system chides his limited knowledge, revealing a special new shell has been prepared for this task. It unveils a powerful female cyborg, explaining he must trick another player into linking with it to succeed. He smirks, already plotting his next move and wondering who will be the next pawn in his game. His scheming is interrupted by a silent, unnerving presence appearing directly behind him. He spins around in frustration, questioning why the tiny zombie lord is ignoring his orders to rest. The miniature commander looks up with puppy dog eyes, her rumbling stomach revealing her true motive. She transforms back to her older form, directly demanding that her new leader provide her with a meal. He stares in utter shock, completely caught off guard by her bold and unexpected request. He's taken aback as the zombie lord, now calling him by a nickname, insists she's hungry. Zheng Fanggu is completely baffled, wondering how the socially anxious girl not only spoke but also knew his real name. She points directly at him, ready to reveal the simple reason behind her knowledge. A system window materializes above him, displaying his real name and title for her to see. The system clarifies that any player he invites is automatically teamed up with him, revealing his identity. He smashes his fist down in frustration, furious at the system for withholding such a critical detail. He sits down, realizing this new rule means he can only invite his most trusted allies into the game. His mind races, picturing the few women he might be able to rely on for this dangerous mission. As he ponders who to recruit, he asks Zisue for her opinion while she devours a massive feast. She completely ignores his strategic planning, holding up a drumstick and demanding more food. He dismisses his companion's input, realizing he needs an expert to handle this advanced cyborg. His mind immediately jumps to a woman named Susu, the heiress to a powerful robotics corporation. He recalls that her company is struggling with a major technological hurdle in bionic robot development. A plan forms in his mind, seeing a perfect opportunity to help her while also achieving his own goals. Elsewhere, the very woman he's thinking of sleeps peacefully in her lavish bedroom. An early morning game notification rouses her from her sleep, much to her groggy annoyance. She puts on her VR gear, remembering it's been a long time since she's played due to work. Logging in, she fondly reminisces about her past adventures with her old gaming partner, Xiaogu. A single glowing mail icon catches her attention, a message waiting just for her. Her eyes widen in complete shock as she reads the unbelievable contents of the message. The message claims to be from her old partner, offering a hidden cyborg class in a new real game world. She realizes only he ever used that nickname, making her fear he's in genuine trouble. Without a second thought, she accepts the mysterious invitation to save her friend. Her in-game avatar begins to digitize as the system initiates a consciousness transfer. A powerful new cyborg body awaits, its eyes glowing as it prepares to receive its new pilot. The system confirms the link is successful, her mind now fully integrated into the advanced shell. Her transformation is complete, leaving her in a sleek and formidable new robotic form. Trapped in a containment pod, she's stunned by the realism of her new body and surroundings. The incredible technology excites her, but her thoughts quickly return to her friend's desperate plea for help. Zheng Fanggu stands with his companion, coolly welcoming his old boss back to the team. The newly awakened cyborg recoils in shock, identifying her old friend as a zombie. Her confusion grows as the zombie uses her old nickname, making her fear for her friend's fate. Zheng Fanggu awkwardly confirms her suspicions, admitting he is, in fact, the zombie she's looking for. Refusing to trust a mutant, she powers up her arm cannons, ready to attack. She unleashes a barrage of energy, demanding he release her friend or be annihilated. The cyborg closes the distance with a powerful, energy-infused kick aimed at her target. He effortlessly blocks her attack with a morphed shield, their powers colliding in a flash of purple light. Stunned by his raw power, she realizes she has to unleash her full arsenal to stand a chance. But before she can counter, Zisue's crimson tendrils suddenly lash out and grab her arm. The powerful cyborg is quickly ensnared, completely immobilized by the unexpected attack. Zisue restrains the panicked cyborg, urging her to focus and see the truth for herself. A system window materializes, confirming Zheng Fanggu's identity and shocking her into silence. With the situation explained, the cyborg finally accepts her friend's new form and their shared mission. Now, on their side, she accesses the cyborg's databanks to uncover the mission's hidden objectives. Her search leads the new team to a secret elevator hidden deep within the ruins of Hope City. They descend into the depths, knowing their target lies far beneath the city's surface. As the elevator plummets, the temperature skyrockets, becoming unbearable for the organic members of the team. Reacting instantly, Zisue uses her own body to form a protective cocoon against the intense heat. The makeshift shield hardens, providing a temporary refuge from the scorching environment. After a cramped and uncomfortably warm descent, the elevator finally grinds to a halt at its destination. Zisue's protective cocoon recedes, and the team steps out to face whatever lies at the bottom of the shaft. Before they can take a step, a wall shatters, unleashing a massive deluge of water. The powerful current engulfs them, leaving Zheng Fanggu baffled as to why they're suddenly underwater. Submerged in the flooded facility, he relies on the cyborg's advanced systems to guide them forward. The cyborg leads them through a vast, submerged metropolis, where mysterious aquatic figures watch from the shadows. A sudden movement catches his eye, his confident demeanor replaced by sheer disbelief. The mysterious figures reveal themselves as mutant mermen, a legendary species straight out of the game's lore. The legendary beings surround him with curious smiles, confirming this world holds more secrets than he ever imagined. Their welcoming facade instantly vanishes as one transforms into a monstrous beast, its eyes glowing with predatory intent. The now monstrous merman towers over him, its aggressive posture making it clear their welcome has run out. He reflects on his game knowledge, noting that while individually weak, the sheer number of mermen is a huge problem. The entire team is now trapped, completely surrounded by a terrifying horde of the aquatic mutants. With no other choice but to fight, he unleashes his elemental power, encasing a merman in a crystal prison. The cyborg proves her incredible combat power, unleashing a vortex of purple energy that tears through the mermen. Jishui joins the fray, her deadly crimson tendrils easily dispatching one of the aquatic monsters. He internally comments that she fights with the same ferocious intensity she applies to eating. The chaotic assault suddenly ceases as the mermen recoil in fear of a new unseen presence. The cyborg detects a massive life form approaching, forcing both friend and foe to scatter into the shadows. The source of the terror reveals itself as a legendary mutant demonic megalodon, a creature straight from the game's lore. But before the apex predator can strike, one of Ziyue's powerful tendrils wraps around its massive body. The legendary megalodon looms over them, its glowing red eyes promising a swift end. But a new challenger appears, a colossal titan squid that dwarfs the megalodon, proving there's always a bigger fish. The squid's powerful tentacles ensnare everything in their path, dragging the team and the megalodon into its massive maw. Ziyue awakens in a strange organic chamber, completely disoriented by their sudden change in location. He quickly deduces they've been swallowed whole, realizing this bizarre ride might have just delivered them to their objective. Inside the beast, they discover the impossible, the legendary Ghost Ruins, a high-tech facility consumed by the creature. The cyborg theorizes the humans sank the facility to hide it, and the squid's appetite explains the constantly shifting coordinates of their target. As they venture deeper into the ruins, Zhengfangu stops dead, his eyes wide with disbelief at what he sees. The chamber is a graveyard of dormant cyborgs, an entire army of powerful female models lying deactivated before them. Their cyborg ally identifies the sleeping giants as the Titaness Legion, the army's most powerful unit, now completely drained of power. Ziyue is visibly unnerved by the silent army of cyborgs, urging them to move on. The cyborg ally adds to the tension, feeling the unsettling gaze of the deactivated machines upon them. They arrive at a massive multi-tunnel junction, and Zhengfangu turns to their guide for the next move. Their cyborg guide is confused, revealing the facility's layout no longer matches her data and has likely mutated. He quickly connects the dots, realizing the entire city is now a living part of the squid, meaning they're on a tight schedule. To cover more ground, Ziyue splits off from the group, heading down a separate tunnel to find the energy core. Their cyborg ally also departs on her own path, determined to complete her part of the search. Zhengfangu takes the last route, issuing a final order to retreat and call for backup at the first sign of trouble. Venturing into the ruins, he's suddenly ambushed by a shadowy, multi-limbed creature that erupts from the wreckage. He narrowly dodges the sneak attack, his feet shattering the ground as he leaps back to assess the new threat. A new cyborg figure is stunned by his presence, questioning how a zombie could have evolved so far. The cyborg, Dr. Metcha, arrogantly decides to eliminate the trash and feed him to his pet Titan squid. The system finally delivers rewards for his last mission before issuing a new one: subdue Dr. Metcha. His status screen updates, revealing a massive gold count and a formidable arsenal of 8 special skills. He considers this unlucky encounter a perfect opportunity to test the limits of his new powers. Meanwhile, Ziyue finds herself submerged in water again, completely baffled by the sudden change of scenery. Her confusion turns to alarm as she senses multiple hostile presences lurking in the darkness behind her. A ravenous school of mutated fish emerges from the depths, their glowing eyes fixed on their new prey. The monstrous fish circle her menacingly, cutting off any chance of escape in the deep water. Trapped and under pressure, a crimson glow signals that her deadly tentacles are about to be unleashed. A flurry of crimson tentacles tears through the school of fish in a brutal underwater ballet. She decides the piranhas are less of a threat and more of a convenient all-you-can-eat buffet. The remaining fish scatter in terror, realizing they've just become the prey. But the alpha of the school turns back, its eyes glowing with rage, ready to avenge its fallen comrades. Unfazed, Zishue casually enjoys a roasted piranha, treating the deep-sea danger zone like a picnic spot. The enraged alpha lunges forward, its massive jaws aiming to swallow her whole as a beam of energy intercepts it. A confident smirk spreads across her face, revealing she's been toying with the beast all along. The alpha fish recoils in pain, completely stunned by her unexpected counterattack. Elsewhere, their cyborg ally continues her solo mission, venturing deeper into the mutated facility. She follows a strengthening signal on her monitor, realizing she's closing in on the cyborg control room. Her first step triggers a hidden security protocol, activating a defensive measure. A deadly grid of red lasers materializes, blocking her path forward through the dilapidated corridor. The cyborg stops short, recognizing the sophisticated trap laid out before her. She activates a special ability, her body deconstructing into multiple energy-linked segments. Each piece of her form gracefully weaves through the lethal laser matrix with impossible precision. Her body seamlessly reassembles on the other side, having bypassed the security system with ease. She takes a moment to admire her new shell's advanced capabilities, a robotics engineer's dream. Putting her professional curiosity aside, she accesses a control panel to proceed with the mission. The massive door slides open to reveal the control room, filled with dormant figures in stasis pods. With a confident snap of her fingers, she confirms that she has finally reached her objective. With a determined look, she initiates the activation sequence for the dormant cyborg army. The stasis pods hiss and crack, but the awakening doesn't go according to plan. A massive, menacing hand smashes through a pod, signaling a hostile reception. Instead of an ally, a hulking security cyborg emerges, its red eyes locking onto her as a target. She narrowly dodges a crushing blow, completely baffled as to why her own kind is attacking her. The rogue cyborg ignores her pleas, its cannons charging up with a single objective, her elimination. She quickly deduces its programming is corrupted, turning it into a mindless killing machine. Realizing she's on her own, she prepares a countermeasure, gathering energy in her fists. She deploys a hexagonal energy shield, bracing herself against the cyborg's overwhelming fiery assault. Her advanced shield not only deflects the blast but begins to absorb its power, turning the tables on her attacker. She smirks as her energy levels surge to 200%, fully charged by her opponent's attack. Undeterred, the hulking cyborg activates its melee annihilation mode, its fists glowing with destructive intent. She counters by activating a super AI which instantly begins predicting her enemy's every move. With flawless precision, she leaps over the brute and strategically dismantles its primary weapon systems. She then lands a series of calculated strikes designed to temporarily paralyze the massive machine. The corrupted cyborg freezes in place, its programming overridden by her swift and decisive assault. Standing over her defeated foe, she confidently prepares to hack its system and restore its original programming. She detaches its head, confirming her suspicion that a forced command was the source of its aggression. With the problem identified, she begins reinstalling the cyborg's original system to reboot its functions. The security cyborg's eyes glow with a calm blue light, signaling its successful and peaceful reactivation. The rebooted cyborg awakens, disoriented and questioning why he's no longer in his stasis pod. She explains his aggressive programming has been wiped, then demands to know what happened to the facility. He recognizes her as the legendary prototype, his confusion growing as he questions his own fragmented memories. The security cyborg begins to recount a long and complicated history of his kind. His story starts with their creator, a brilliant scientist who pioneered intelligent robotics. He explains how their first mission was to help humanity by transporting vital nuclear energy for Hope City. As their power grew, they evolved from laborers into the city's elite protectors, the cyborg army. But their service was rewarded with betrayal when humans exiled them, fearing their power could be stolen by intelligent zombies. The entire army was forced to march out of the city they built, cast aside by those they swore to protect. He concludes his tale by revealing that the army's most advanced technology is contained within her, the original prototype. He reveals she is the prototype, containing all the army's most advanced technology. He explains the prototype vanished during a city riot and wasn't exiled with the others. He then speculates the aggressive protocol was a guardian program installed by their own creator. The cyborg can't comprehend why their creator would install such a program only to cast them out. Determined to find answers, she decides to track down the doctor herself. But her quest is immediately interrupted by an ambush from other hostile cyborgs. Her new ally realizes the entire exiled army might be equipped with the same aggressive protocol. This revelation means they could be facing hundreds of corrupted, high-powered soldiers. Just then, another powerful cyborg smashes onto the scene, its programming clearly set to attack. She recognizes the attacker as one of the Titaness Legion, now awakened and hostile. The colossal cyborg kneels, revealing she was awakened specifically to serve the prototype. The prototype is completely taken aback by this sudden declaration of loyalty. She explains the Titaness Legion is an elite unit hardwired to awaken and obey only her. The Titaness clarifies her mission is not just protection, but absolute obedience to her new leader. With a confident smile, the prototype immediately accepts her new follower and prepares to give her first command. Elsewhere, Zheng Fangu unleashes a devastating crystal-armored punch against his cyborg foe. But his powerful blow is met by a surprisingly resilient tentacle that absorbs the force. He's stunned to find his arm ensnared, the creature's limbs proving to be incredibly elastic. Dr. Metcha smirks from above, having effortlessly neutralized the attack with his bizarre appendages. Zheng Fangu recoils in disgust, his armored gauntlet now covered in a slimy, unpleasant mucus. Having finished her fiery snack, Zisue sits atop the defeated Alpha Piranha. A comical cutaway shows her letting out a satisfied hiccup, clearly having eaten her fill. With her hunger sated, she decides it's time to regroup with the rest of the team. She swims up from the depths, leaving the tangled lair of the aquatic beasts behind. She realizes she stumbled into the piranha's nest, questioning her earlier victory over their supposed king. Her senses suddenly go on high alert as she detects a new, much greater threat approaching. A massive current of water suddenly erupts, catching her completely by surprise. The true mutant piranha king reveals itself, a colossal beast that dwarfs her previous opponent. Back in the other battle, Zheng Fangu unleashes his lightning attribute, cloaking himself in crackling purple energy. Dr. Metcha seems to relish the electric assault, his own body surging with power as he absorbs the attack. Zheng Fangu is stunned, realizing his lightning attack was completely ineffective. Dr. Metcha boasts that his electric eel genes turn electrical attacks into pure energy for him. Unfazed, Zheng Fangu switches tactics, engulfing himself in flames to try a different element. He unleashes a concentrated blast of fire, hoping to incinerate his resilient foe. But to his horror, Dr. Metcha's body begins to absorb the fiery assault as well. Zheng Fangu stares in disbelief, finding his opponent's immunity to be completely absurd. The doctor explains his Pompeii worm genes also make him impervious to extreme heat. Now intrigued, Dr. Metcha questions how a mere zombie possesses such intelligence and skill. He offers a truce, willing to let the sentient zombie leave unharmed if he retreats. Zheng Fangu refuses, declaring he won't leave until he completes his mission to find the energy core. Dr. Metcha smugly confirms he has the energy core but has no intention of handing it over. Unfazed, Zheng Fangu decides it's the perfect time to test out a brand new skill. He unleashes a rapid-fire combo of energy-infused strikes against the doctor's defenses. The attack seems to have no effect, leaving Zheng Fangu momentarily perplexed by his opponent's resilience. But Dr. Metcha suddenly recoils, shocked as orbs of purple energy cling to his body. The doctor is baffled, questioning why his impact-absorbing cells are failing to protect him. He realizes the attack bypasses his defenses, transmitting explosive damage internally. Dr. Metcha grows flustered, wondering how a mere zombie possesses so many unpredictable abilities. Seeing his new skill as a success, Zheng Fangu decides to press his advantage and end the fight. He switches tactics again, manifesting a glowing golden chain from his hand for a new assault. He wraps the doctor's bizarre appendage in a glowing golden chain, preparing to restrain him. But his cyborg ally suddenly intervenes, pleading with him to spare their opponent. Dr. Metcha stares in disbelief, recognizing the legendary prototype he thought was long gone. The prototype demands answers, asking the doctor to explain what truly happened after the exile. Dr. Metcha begins to recount his story, starting with a fateful riot in Hope City. A flashback reveals he was betrayed by the humans, who cast him and his creations aside after they were no longer useful. The narrative clarifies the humans' true motive was fear of the cyborg army's immense power. The doctor was blackmailed, forced to choose between his creations and the life of his infected daughter. Cornered and desperate, he reluctantly agreed to the humans' cruel demands. He explains he personally led the exile to ensure the army's survival and protect his daughter from further harm. He reveals the prototype was sent to a human base to be dismantled as part of the deal. The exiled army's journey ended abruptly when they were swallowed by a colossal mutant octopus. He awoke to find himself and the remains of his army trapped within the beast's stomach. A swallowed town provided the resources he needed to survive this bizarre imprisonment. Using salvaged parts, he transformed himself, merging his consciousness with the giant creature. To preserve his army, he placed them in hibernation and installed a hostile anti-intruder program. This self-imposed exile was the price he paid to ensure his daughter's continued treatment. After years of isolation, he now wonders if his daughter is even still alive. The doctor finds it impossible that both an evolved zombie and the prototype appeared on the same day. Zhang Fanggu sees an opening, offering the doctor a chance to leave and find his daughter. The doctor laments that he's been fused with the creature for too long to ever be separated. But his prototype creation steps forward, confidently offering to attempt the impossible procedure. She outlines a complex plan to separate his core tissue and connect him to new mechanical prosthetics. With a flash of light and a successful system reboot, the doctor's consciousness is transferred. He stares at his hands in disbelief, realizing he's finally free from his organic prison. The prototype reveals she also uploaded the world's historical data into his new body. With a knowing smile, she adds that this data includes crucial information about his daughter. A holographic screen appears, displaying his daughter's profile and confirming her identity. Overcome with renewed purpose, the doctor smashes his fist into a wall in a burst of emotion. He rages at the new human's deception, as Zhang Fanggu reminds him they must grow stronger to fight back. Dr. Metcha confirms their mission is to claim the energy core and reactivate the dormant cyborg army. He offers them everything they desire, but only if they agree to a single mysterious condition. The doctor suddenly grabs Zhang Fanggu, pulling him close with an intense and serious expression. In a comical shift, he secretly whispers his condition, leaving the prototype completely bewildered. The scene pans out to reveal the flooded, ruined city that serves as their exit from the beast. The colossal titan squid surfaces from the depths, its glowing red eyes piercing the darkness. Having delivered them to the surface, the giant creature declares its part in their journey is over. The prototype questions the doctor's decision to stay behind instead of reuniting with his daughter. He reveals he has a more pressing duty to attend to before he can seek out his family. With a look of trust, he places his daughter's fate in Zhang Fanggu's hands, giving him a new responsibility. Dr. Metcha departs, entrusting Zhang Fanggu with the promise they made. The two allies stand together, the weight of their new responsibilities settling upon them. The doctor's final command is clear, demanding they secure victory against their common enemy. With their objective secured, the team successfully transports the energy core back to their base. Under their watch, the Titaness begins the process of installing the powerful energy source. A surge of raw power erupts from the core, signaling the beginning of the city's revival. The entire city roars to life as a massive beam of energy shoots skyward, restoring power. A system notification confirms his victory, showering him with a massive gold reward and more mystery items. Now flush with cash and power, he smirks at his status screen before asking the system how to transfer his earnings to the real world. The system details the instant money transfer, but quickly dangles a new temptation. A special shop is on its way. He's shocked as a system window appears, revealing a special in-game shop. The system explains this is an exclusive marketplace for mutants, offering powerful weapons and rare skills. One of the most tempting items is a card that promises a primary evolution for mutants. He scoffs at the exorbitant prices for items like evolution cards and nuclear-powered tanks. With a plan to help his father in the real world, he eagerly demands a new mission from the system. The system obliges, tasking him with recruiting another player to pilot a mysterious Zerg Queen's shell. A new, formidable female shell materializes before him, awaiting its next pilot. He groans at the thought of having to trick yet another player into his dangerous game. But his scheming is cut short by a sudden, horrifying realization. Meanwhile, Sisui casually drags the defeated Piranha King's body back to base, completely oblivious. A mysterious cyborg arrives to feed his pet, the mutant Piranha King. He's forced to block a massive tail swing, surprised by his pet's sudden aggression. Holding the creature's severed tail, he questions why his pet is suddenly devouring its own body. He dives into the murky depths, desperately searching for his missing aquatic companion. A colossal shadow with glowing red eyes emerges from the darkness, making him question if it's his pet. He's stunned to find Jisue surrounded by the piranha horde, realizing she must have defeated his beast. Recalling data from the prototype, he correctly identifies her as one of Zhang Fanggu's allies. He watches as she floats upside down, her glowing red eyes signaling a complete loss of control. He deduces she's on a rampage from absorbing too much piranha DNA, but is impressed by her raw power. Seeing her potential, he decides to subdue her and recruit her for his own purposes. Elsewhere, a red-haired man enjoys the company of two women in a high-tech club. He whispers a tempting offer to one of them, promising secrets of new human evolution. The trio embraces, planning an eventful night together. But their private party is abruptly interrupted as a massive door is blown off its hinges. Furious at the intrusion, the man unleashes his fiery powers, threatening the unwelcome guest. His attack is instantly nullified as a powerful hand clamps down on his face. A blue-haired woman effortlessly slams him into the floor, ending his outburst with a single move. She stands over him with an air of superiority, completely unimpressed by his display of force. The beaten man looks up in shock, recognizing his formidable attacker. He tries to de-escalate the situation, but she reveals she's not the one he should be worried about. A formidable man with white hair and a red jacket is introduced as the true boss. The red-haired man's arrogance vanishes as he tries to placate his superior, Ghost Eye. Ghost Eye delivers a chilling ultimatum, warning that another failure will be his last. The subordinate is in disbelief, unable to accept his best operative, and her backup were defeated by mere zombies. The grim reality of his team's complete failure begins to dawn on his horrified face. Ghost Eye furiously berates him for his ignorance, revealing the zombies have undergone a dangerous evolution. He elaborates on the new threat, explaining that powerful, intelligent zombie leaders have emerged from the horde. A new mission is assigned. The subordinate must lead a team to clear out the zombie lair near the forest. He receives a crucial addendum to his orders. Any zombie leader must be captured alive for study. The perspective abruptly shifts away from the game world to a quiet city scene in the real world at night. A young woman in VR gear sleeps, wondering why her friend Siue has been offline for days. Deciding to investigate, she logs into the game world, her avatar materializing in a bustling cyber city. She walks through the neon-lit streets, fondly recalling past adventures with her friend Xiaogu. Her nostalgia sours as she remembers the bullies who targeted her friend and put his father in the hospital. A spark of vengeance ignites in her eyes as she vows to find the person responsible for their suffering. She overhears other players discussing the rise of intelligent zombie leaders and a call for all players to evolve. The conversation turns to a mysterious awakening process, which requires a secret invitation to unlock new powers. Just as she ponders this, a holographic email notification materializes right before her eyes. The message is marked with a strange, circuit-patterned hand, hinting at its unusual origin. It's a desperate plea, claiming her friends Zheng Fangu and Zisiue are trapped and offering a hidden class for their rescue. The young woman hesitates, her expression filled with doubt as she questions the legitimacy of the strange invitation. Back in his base, Zheng Fangu lets out a sudden sneeze, a classic sign that someone is thinking of him. He pauses in confusion, wondering how his undead body could possibly be susceptible to a common cold. A wave of guilt washes over him as he hopes his trusting friend Yuting will fall for his desperate ploy. His thoughts are interrupted as the Zerg Queen's shell behind him begins to spark with energy. The containment pod shatters as the new player's consciousness fully integrates with the powerful shell. A formidable silhouette emerges from a cloud of green mist, her transformation now complete. The newly awakened player looks around, disoriented and questioning why she was teleported instead of joining her friends. She examines her new body and surroundings, the chilling fear that she's been scammed beginning to set in. A familiar voice calls her name, and she spins around to confront the smiling figure of Zheng Fangu. She recoils in horror, identifying the familiar face as a terrifying zombie. Panic sets in as she fears her friends were also lured into this zombie's trap. Believing she's the sole survivor, she collapses in a wave of despair. He tries to snap her out of her panic, desperately trying to explain the situation. Zheng Fangu maintains a serious expression, attempting to reason with his terrified friend. She towers over him, her face shadowed with disbelief and suspicion. The new Zerg Queen struggles to reconcile the monster before her with the friend she once knew. Her doubt turns to accusation as she demands to know what he's done with her friends. She issues a chilling ultimatum, ordering him to release them immediately. With a surge of power, she prepares to unleash her full might to get the answer she wants. Fueled by terror, she summons a monstrous insectoid beast from the shadows ready to attack. He's stunned, realizing her new shell isn't just a hidden class but the legendary queen of the swarm. She stands confidently before her monstrous creation, her appearance now more demonic and powerful. He recalls the Swarm Queen's lore, remembering its ability to mentally command an entire army of beasts. He deduces her fear has triggered her powers instinctively, making any attempt to reason with her futile. With glowing green eyes, she channels a surge of violent energy, preparing to strike him down. The battlefield shifts as he finds himself completely surrounded by her newly summoned insectoid horde. Deciding force is the only answer, he morphs his arm into a crystal cannon and unleashes a powerful blast. His attack connects, instantly encasing the entire swarm in a prison of shimmering blue crystal. With the threat neutralized, he looks down at his frozen friend, urging her to see her own reflection. The crystal prison shatters around her as she stares at her own reflection in the fragments. She questions the strange material, her mind still reeling from the sudden attack and transformation. Her gaze shifts to her new form, the reality of her monstrous appearance finally sinking in. He calmly instructs her to focus, revealing a system window that confirms his true identity. Tears of relief stream down her face as she finally recognizes her old friend beneath the monstrous exterior. With the misunderstanding cleared, the newly reunited team sits down to discuss the grim reality of their situation. Learning the truth about the new human's cruelty ignites a furious rage within her. Her anger quickly turns into a chilling declaration of war, vowing to unleash her swarm upon their enemies. He calmly interjects, reining in her vengeful spirit to focus on their immediate objectives. Her rage instantly vanishes, replaced by an eager desire to help her friend with whatever he needs. He reflects on his new ally, noting her timid nature is balanced by her impressive new power. A plan forms as he decides the Zerg Queen is perfect for leveling up, leaving the cyborg to manage their base. With his team assembled, he confidently summons the system for his next set of rewards and orders. The system delivers a hefty gold reward for successfully recruiting another player to his cause. A new mission appears, warning of an imminent attack from the new humans and ordering a preemptive strike. He recognizes his new targets as the very same new human leaders from Ghost Eye's inner circle. He immediately delegates tasks, leaving the cyborg in charge of construction while taking the Zerg Queen on his next mission. The scene shifts to a secret, high-tech chamber where his enemies are currently located. The blue-haired woman reminds her partner of their grim reality. As trapped players, death is permanent. Her red-haired companion dismisses her fears, arrogantly believing their combined strength can crush any zombie threat. She questions his overconfidence, reminding him of their fallen comrade's recent demise. He arrogantly dismisses the loss, blaming his teammates' carelessness rather than the enemy's strength. She scoffs at his ignorance, explaining that raw power, not numbers, was the deciding factor in their defeat. To ensure their success, she offers him a secret weapon from their boss, a risky power-enhancing serum. He eagerly snatches the syringe, blinded by the promise of overwhelming strength. Without hesitation, he injects the volatile substance, a manic grin spreading across his face. His face contorts in agony as the serum violently courses through his veins, unlocking a new level of power. He erupts in a torrent of fiery energy, his body pushed to its absolute limit by the forced evolution. The scene cuts to a young woman with red eyes, waking from what seems to be a very long slumber. She sits up in a strange, high-tech chamber, completely disoriented and unaware of her surroundings. Shisui awakens, confused about blacking out during her piranha feast and being separated from her team. A holographic projection of a mysterious cyborg greets her, introducing himself as her new host. He explains her piranha-fueled rampage caused her blackout and assures her that her friends are safe. She looks down in embarrassment, feeling guilty for losing control and getting left behind. The cyborg offers her a deal, promising a grand food adventure if she joins him. Her despair vanishes instantly, replaced by pure joy at the prospect of more delicious meals. Now partners, they ride a massive tentacle towards a mysterious submerged ancient city. They dive into the depths, heading for a location ominously known as the Abyss of Titan Slumber. He guides her through the ancient ruins, pointing out murals that tell the story of a lost civilization. The cyborg reveals his conviction that these ancient legends are not myths, but forgotten history. He points to the murals, revealing an ancient civilization that mastered nuclear technology long ago. He reveals the energy core they recovered was just a tiny fragment excavated from these very ruins. Yet for all their advanced science, this civilization still worshipped a mysterious, all-seeing god. Their deity was no benevolent spirit, but a colossal, multi-eyed beast hibernating deep beneath the earth. He explains the temple's true purpose was to feed the beast energy, keeping it placated and asleep. Their worship was born from fear, as they knew the beast held world-shattering power. But its true threat wasn't brute force. It was the terrifying, mutated genes it carried within. The mural shows how these genes could spread like a virus, infecting and rewriting other life forms. Anything infected by this genetic code would either perish or twist into a monstrous new form. He theorizes this single beast is the origin of every mass extinction and evolutionary leap in history. He reveals humanity's nuclear war didn't directly cause the mutations, but instead disturbed the slumbering beast. Its brief, angry awakening was enough to spread a wave of mutagenic genes across the globe before it fell back asleep. But the genetic plague it unleashed has now spiraled completely out of control, transforming all life. He reveals his true goal, to study the beast's genes and find a way to reverse Zisue's transformation. Their path to the beast, however, is guarded by countless other terrifying mutants lurking in the shadows. He warns that the journey to the creature's resting place will be a long and treacherous one. Zisue, completely unfazed by the world-ending lore, happily devours a giant crab claw. He chides her for focusing on food, unaware that a massive, shadowy beast is already stalking them from behind. Their journey is suddenly interrupted by the arrival of a formidable, red-haired woman with deadly scorpion-like appendages. Her glowing green eyes lock onto an unseen target as she narrowly dodges an incoming energy blast. The red-haired mutant launches a ferocious assault, her claws glowing with destructive energy. She snarls amidst the shattered ruins, her spiky armor bristling with aggression. But her attack fails, and she recoils in pain, clutching a severe wound to her chest. The blue-haired woman stands over her defeated foe, casually remarking that this fight is becoming a bore. Her supercharged partner agrees, eager to move on to their primary target in the forest of thorns. The rest of their squad struggles to keep pace, begging their overpowered leaders to slow down. His female subordinates cheer him on, completely captivated by his overwhelming display of power. Their celebration is cut short as a colossal, mutated dog with glowing red eyes ambushes the group. In a flash of red and black, the beast's attack finds its mark with brutal finality. The entire team stares in horror, unable to believe that a supposedly low-level zombie dog could possess such impossible speed. The blue-haired woman screams for her team to regroup, her confidence completely shattered by the sudden attack. They stand back to back, realizing with dawning horror that they're surrounded by a pack of evolved zombie dogs. Elsewhere, Zisue and the cyborg face a new horror, a colossal mutated snake guarding the ancient ruins. The giant serpent lunges forward, its glowing green eyes filled with predatory hunger as it prepares to strike. Another monstrous beast strikes a decisive blow, its jaws clamping down with brutal, overwhelming force. The cyborg and Zisue fight in tandem, unleashing a coordinated assault against the massive aquatic creature. He internally admits he brought her along as a living shield, using her immense power for his own safety. After the battle, Zisue emerges from the water, seemingly refreshed and unfazed by the recent danger. They swim through the ancient architecture, finally arriving at the legendary submerged temple. The cyborg stands in the vast empty chamber, baffled that their legendary target is nowhere to be found. He questions if the legends were just a lie as they stand before a crumbling ancient statue. But the stone figure roars to life, its face twisting into a demonic snarl as monstrous limbs erupt from its body. Vile, fleshy appendages burst from the statue's shoulder, replacing its missing arm with something grotesque. The organic mass hardens into a terrifying claw, shattering the stone as it fully emerges. The once graceful statue is now a hulking monster, wielding a massive scythe and ready for battle. It brings its colossal blade down on Zisue, who braces for the devastating impact. The creature's massive foot stomps down, shattering the temple floor with its immense weight. He realizes with horror that every statue in the temple has awakened, turning the sanctuary into a war zone. Done playing games, the cyborg unleashes his full arsenal, his body bristling with glowing energy cannons. He unleashes a concentrated barrage of energy, blasting the monstrous stone guardian with overwhelming force. The cyborg's blast shatters the statue's arm, revealing a grotesque, fleshy interior. Instead of being destroyed, the fleshy fragments begin to squirm and multiply on the temple floor. The scattered pieces quickly reform into a second identical stone monster, doubling the threat. He's stunned by the creature's ability to regenerate and split, realizing this is a battle of attrition. He urgently orders Zisue to switch to defense, knowing they'll be overwhelmed if the monsters keep multiplying. With a look of grim determination, he realizes a conventional fight is impossible. Meanwhile, Zhishui unleashes her own monstrous tendrils, meeting the stone guardians with equal ferocity. He watches her fight and comes to a simple yet brilliant conclusion. If you can't beat them, eat them. Inspired by his ally, the cyborg unleashes his own powerful bladed tentacles. His appendages swiftly ensnare one of the stone beasts, completely immobilizing it for the feast. The cyborg's tentacles pin the stone guardian, allowing Zhishui's crimson appendages to begin the devouring process. Her tendrils coalesce into a monstrous maw, completely engulfing the stone creature in a terrifying display of power. The remaining members of the new human squad are swiftly neutralized, littering the ground in defeat. The two remaining leaders stand back to back, questioning how mere zombie dogs could have evolved so dramatically. The alpha of the pack emerges from the shadows, a ridiculously oversized beast that towers over the stunned duo. He scoffs at the threat, his body erupting in flames as he declares his own evolved state as far superior. With a surge of fiery power, he propels himself forward, aiming to turn the entire dog pack to ash. He lands a devastating fiery blow, but the mutated dog meets his attack with a defiant snarl. He gloats over his victory, but his blue-haired partner warns him to conserve his energy, reminding him that this form is draining. Ignoring her warning, his celebration is cut short by the appearance of a new, mysterious orb of energy. The red-haired man demands to know who interfered, as his partner lies defeated by a mysterious blue energy blast. A new figure makes a dramatic entrance, their boots cracking the ground as they land with purpose. The newcomer reveals herself as a vengeful woman, with a small demonic creature perched on her shoulder. He stares in disbelief, recognizing a face from his past before dismissing her as just another zombie. She confirms his fears with a cold smile, stating the person he abandoned is long gone. Her expression hardens as she promises to deliver a very personal and final reckoning. He scoffs at her threat, his arrogance returning as he crosses his arms in defiance. Igniting his full power, he cloaks himself in fiery armor and declares she has come only to meet her end. Unimpressed, she points forward, placing her faith in the small, glowing creature on her shoulder. His confidence shatters as he sees his blue-haired partner standing on a rooftop behind him, completely unharmed. The blue-haired woman leaps across the rooftops, desperately trying to make a tactical retreat. She's completely baffled, questioning how the zombies in this game world suddenly became so overwhelmingly strong. Her escape is cut short as a massive figure lands directly in her path, blocking any chance of escape. A formidable gray-skinned zombie towers over her, promising that her journey ends here and now. Refusing to surrender, the player launches a powerful kick, attempting to break through the blockade. But her desperate attack is effortlessly caught, the zombie looking down on her with utter disdain. The zombie's clawed hand clamps down on her ankle, completely neutralizing her assault. With a single brutal motion, she's swung through the air and slammed into the hard ground. The impact sends a shockwave across the rooftop, demonstrating the zombie's overwhelming strength. The defeated player struggles to push herself up, the ground trembling from the force of the blow. Cornered and desperate, the blue-haired woman decides to unleash her final hidden technique. Her face contorts in agony as she pushes her body past its physical limits for a final power-up. She erupts in a flash of crimson energy, her eyes glowing white with newfound strength. The zombie is surprised by her opponent's power, but remains confident in her own evolved form. The player unleashes a furious punch, her fist glowing as it strikes her formidable foe. The blow connects with devastating force, sending a visible shockwave through the zombie's body. She follows up with a powerful kick, continuing her relentless assault on the evolved zombie. Her opponent is sent flying across the rooftop, seemingly defeated by the overwhelming combo. But the zombie lands gracefully, brushing herself off and declaring that was merely a warm-up. With a menacing look, she cracks her neck and announces that the real fight is about to begin. The zombie's body crackles with blue energy, revealing a hidden power that catches the player completely off guard. She reveals her true form, a terrifying multi-armed behemoth that radiates overwhelming power. The player's desperate glowing fists are effortlessly caught, her final gambit completely neutralized. With a flurry of fists, the evolved zombie unleashes a relentless barrage, completely overwhelming her opponent. Holding the defeated player by her ankle, the victorious zombie awaits her next command. From a nearby rooftop, Zheng Fangu praises his subordinate's work and orders her to bring the captive back for interrogation. He laments that his new recruit missed the practice, knowing this victory will only provoke a stronger enemy response. With a determined look, he decides they must gather more intelligence on the new humans before their next move. Elsewhere, Zhishui and the cyborg arrive at the heart of the temple, standing before a massive, empty throne. The cyborg searches for a hidden mechanism, while Zisue complains of being full after eating every monster in sight. Zisue's eyes widen as she feels a sudden, strange sensation taking over her body. She collapses to the ground in a violent convulsion, much to the cyborg's complete bewilderment. Her body purges a massive amount of crimson energy, a consequence of her monstrous feast. The expelled substance strikes the floor, activating a dormant, glowing red sigil beneath their feet. The intricate pattern spreads across the entire chamber, revealing a massive, hidden mechanism. With a deep rumble, the massive throne begins to sink into the newly activated platform. The cyborg has a sudden epiphany, realizing the temple is not a destination but a secret passage. He deduces that the genes from the monsters she ate acted as a key for this ancient genetic lock. They peer into the newly revealed abyss, questioning where this mysterious path will ultimately take them.